I was giving some thought recently to the subject of project communication and collaboration, specifically whether there would be any ways in which Solid Solutions could improve the way we collaborate with customers during an implementation project. This started me thinking about issue management and what tools we could use to ensure that any issues occurring during the testing phase of an implementation are captured and tracked to completion. I then realized that when working on a SOLIDWORKS Manage implementation, I could build a process to support this. One that would allow me or a tester to create an issue, add any tasks required in the resolution, and the resources to deliver it, all supported by individual global reports and a filterable dashboard view. Logging into Manage and looking at my home area, I can see that my work contains 3 issues of which I am the current owner. Some of these issues have individual tasks associated with them, also assigned to me currently. Opening the task board, I can see them either Kanban style, where they are presented and organized according to their status, or switch to a priority-based view. In both views, I can drag and drop the tasks between the columns and even double-click an individual task to update it. Next, within my home view are my favorite reports, which in this case just contains a single issue status report for all incomplete projects, listing information such as the owner, status, due date, and priority. Individual task reports have also been configured so that I can browse to a record and run an issue management report that can be exported in a variety of standard formats. These reports can also be created automatically within the process and emailed to a specific set of interested stakeholders. Let's create a new issue to have this report template updated to include the company logo within the header. Creating a new issue is as simple as just clicking New within the Issue Management Process view. This will display the initial fields required to create this process. Those mandatory fields will be highlighted with a red asterisk, available as text fields, some of which are also drop lists. There is also the option to use conditional formatting when it comes to things like dates. If I choose a date within the next 7 days, I've assigned a certain colour. Same day, different colour to highlight its urgency. Beyond a week, we're using a neutral colour. These colours will update automatically as we draw nearer to the due date. As the originator, I've been captured within here already. However, as I've been set to be the default owner, I do have the option to maybe give ownership of this issue to another party. For example, if this was being logged by the customer and the owner was ourselves as the implementers. I can also assign resources, and I could pick multiple names within here. With the process created, I'll just close the window and we can take a look at the workflow itself within here. So quite a simple process, essentially. The to-do state was the initial capture and definition of this issue. We can then send it through to InWork for somebody to action it. They can then request approval, and if approved, it becomes complete. A task has been created, which can be edited to suit, deleted, or even additional tasks required to resolve this particular issue. In this case, however, I'm just going to go straight back to the process itself and send it on to the next stage. As the assignee, I still have ownership of this particular process, so I can accept the process and I can then go ahead and start to complete the work. I'm logged in as a member of the administrators group, so I can fire up the administration tool straight for the issue management process, and I'm going to jump through to the reports and open up the editor for this particular report. Just for speed, I've cut this next section of the video down to size a little bit, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the number from the top right hand corner down below the issue management, making the title I move further to the right, set both of those fields to the same size, and then drop the image in the top right hand corner where the number was. Saving that back into Manage, I can close the process editor and simply just run that report and see how it looks. And as we can see, our logo is now in place and all the other information where it needs to be. So happy with that. What I can do is I can now document any actions that I've taken for the approver to review and make a decision on. So I'll document the actions I've taken, and then I can fill in a resolution statement. The final aspect will then be to specify the approver, which you can now see is also a mandatory field at this particular stage. And in this case, I'm going to ask the system administrator to make that final approval for me and send that on to the next stage. Great. Okay, so we're about 75% through progress wise, and we can just go take a look at our issue report, and what we can hopefully see is our new issue is there and it's showing its current status of in approval. One of the nice things about Manage is I can run multiple sessions at the same time. So I'm going to just log in now as the admin user, and as before we'll take a look in the in-work area, and what I'm expecting to see is the process is there and waiting for me to action it. And there it is, top of the list. And just for the sake of due diligence, perhaps I should go and take a look at the process itself, run one of these reports and make sure I'm happy with the outcome. Now, of course, I've just created the report, I've just tested it, so I'm reasonably happy that I've done the correct job in this case. So let's just close that down. Let's open up the issue, accept the process, and then I can put in my decision and optionally any comments that I may also have had. Sending that on to the next stage, that's now going to complete the process in this particular case. So let's switch back to the dashboard, and within the dashboard we can see that there are a number of issues recorded, 2 of which are now complete, including the one that we've just created, 3 of which are still in work, 2 of these high priority and needing some attention. Thank you.